Well, people. In this video, we want to do a quick video to let you think a little bit about history of the people that led society. Who traditionally led society, Dan? Was it strong people, funny people, stupid people? Was it cavemen? Was it, I don't know, even females? You know, we've had some very good female leaders in Britain, by the way, I'll have you know. The Iron Lady.
We're in a time of weak men.
We're in the time of weak men, Dan.
We're in a time of weak men with weak leaders.
This is a problem because there's consequences to this.
Yes.
We seem to have entered a time where just because you're smart and you can type code into a computer and invent new clever technology means somehow you're also the default fucking leader of mankind.
Yeah.
No.
Point.
That's not how history used to work, guys and girls. That's not how it works. Mm-hmm. But it's how it's working right now.
Yep.
If you want any evidence of this is an old video. I'm sure you crypto heads have seen this before. But I just want to refer you back to remind you of the people we seem to have chosen, or the people who have kind of self-ordained themselves because they've got centralized pre-mines, as the leaders of these freaking chains. I want to give you an example.
Let's see him.
Are you excited to see this, Dan?
I'm not excited at all. But I'll watch.
Good, because you will know what it is like to be a leader.
Very cringe fashion.
You will know what it's like to be a leader of men today, in this day and age.
Yes. Let's see what...
Let's bring this up.
Oh, yes.
Let's remind ourselves
This is already got off.
who the leader is. Ready for this? 3, 2, 1.
To me, it's almost like romance.
They got their smiles.
I personally like...
Look at what the guy in the purple shirt, he's like twerking.
he looks like he's about to have a shit.
Like when I saw Ivan's pants.
Ivan was there?
Even on tech, man, I've got higher expectations of you. Although, to be fair, I have worn ridiculous
What
pants like that in my
pants are
time.
you wearing, bro? What is that?
Check out this stance.
I mean, this has to be like them just insulting you. Like, we can do anything and they'll still buy.
Yeah, literally. We can literally stand on the stage and flap our hands and you'll still buy our token.
And then eventually, next year they'll do the same thing, but they'll just be singing "We'll Censor You" and everyone will still buy.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen next. That's
Censor.
what's going to happen next. We're going to censor you us. We're going to run OFAC compliant nodes in your fucking faces and you're still going to buy the token.
What is this? Why is this happening? It's almost satanic. I don't know. It feels evil for some reason.
It's evil. It's definitely evil. But it's like an alternative to
This
Satanism.
isn't natural.
It's like badgerism. It's badgerism instead of Satanism. Right, let's finish this off. I've got to get through this. Even the grown men are freaking doing it.
Was she wearing a leash?
They're all wearing leashes, yes, they are.
Why are they dancing?
Okay, enough of that shit.
We'll look back and we'll say, yeah, that was the sign. We were in a sign of time of weak men.
Well, I wanna
Because they are in positions of power. Well, at least the Vitalik one is.
First of all, I want you to know one thing. When these people lead society, it doesn't end well. Because when the weak men lead society, the strong men from a more fucked up society take over. And I don't give a shit how special and clever your strongman robots are or your amazing blockchains are. It means nothing. When your leaders are dancing around on the stage like that, I haven't really got any words for it, to be honest, but it doesn't mean anything good. It certainly means weakness, and it means that there's other people, other power brokers in the world, looking at that, rubbing their fingers. Probably the people that now control Ethereum. Yeah. The real people that control Ethereum.
No, yeah. You're going to have an Ethereum ETF. It's going to be a part of the system, and it's going to absorb as many people And that's how you have
Custodial Ethereum. Can we hold your Ethereum for you, sir?
And it's like, that's not natural, man. You're not just doing that for fun. That was some weird ass fucking shit. Like the people up there look, especially the woman, look very uncomfortable. It's like no one wants to do that. No one wants to get on stage and make an idiot of themselves. But yet they do it right in your face.
Here's the question,
very,
right?
Very strange behavior.
You see,
I don't think that guy in the purple is fucking freaking me out. Man.
you see these people? These are the people, right, who 5 years ago will dance on a stage, and 5 years later, they'll be signing off on an Ethereum ETF that gives thousands of people the ability to buy custodial Ethereum on a coin voting system where there's no way to stop them from fucking voting.
They're gonna KYC, and you're gonna have to dance like that and send the video in.
If you don't dance properly, you ain't going to get KYC. You ain't going to get access to your custodial funds.
You didn't flap hard enough. You have to wait 24 hours. The guy in the back.
No flappy, no votey.
The guy in the front definitely looks uncomfortable. Like, he's like, what am I doing? Why am I here? This is very, very beyond dystopian.
These people are saying, do we really have to make an ETF where there's custodial voting on a coin voting system that's unparametered?
There's in no way that anyone thought this was a good idea just to do it. They did it to fucking humiliate you.
They did it to humiliate
weird.
you. But they are like that, though. They are like that. Like, there's an element of, like, hatred, There's an element of basically, we fucking hate you normies. We're special, amazingly talented devs. We're going to build this fucking crazy system. It's going to be so badass. We're going to get all the money in the world in it. And now we're going to dance on stage like complete fucking morons. And you're still going to buy our token.
You're still going to buy our token. You're still going to listen to us after.
Wake the fuck up.
That's
you fucking idiots. Sorry for my language, but it's just so frustrating to watch this happen.
Well, it's kind of like when they tell you the sky's green and you kind of like are intimidated to say, okay, yeah, the sky's green when you know it's not. So they're doing the same thing. It's like they're humiliating you, and you still follow them. It's just another humiliation tactic, and it makes you more of a follower. It makes you more controllable because it's like nobody was like that was cool. Like even the Ethereum community had to cringe at like that. That's not cool.
But it was not cool.
Weird and uncomfortable, and you're still gonna not question it. You're just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's just how they are.
That's the point, though. That's the point.
Their fucking token.
The point is that they've got to dance like crazy idiots in front of you to prove that it ain't cool, to do whatever they can to make it not cool, but you're still going to buy their token, right? That is power. Yeah. That's like in many ways, it's a power move. But it's a massive freaking red flag. And this thing seems to have been forgotten. I just thought I'd just bring it back up, put it back in everyone's minds again. Remember who is leading these chains. It's not Alexander the frickin' Great.
Whatever we just saw made me very uncomfortable. I don't want those people running any kind of power over me at all.
Are you going to be able to sleep tonight, then? You're going to be all right?
I'm going to have to block that from my memory somehow.
Take some strong narcotics before sleep.
And this is the guy saying, oh, Ethereum's fucked. Centralized infrastructure.
Well, now he is.
Dance on stage.
Now he's saying,
Bye.
By the way, guys, 2.5 years ago, I should have realised that we should have been incentivized than the other major infrastructure operators. That's what he's saying right now, right? Well, we've been here the whole time building that system. And the guys...
You know what he's going to say? But, it is what
Don't worry, we can just dance on stage. Don't worry. We'll just keep dancing. Ignore the fuck. Just ignore it. Ignore it. Just keep dancing.
All he's done really with Ethereum explained why it's centralized, and he's like apologizing. Not really apologizing.
He's not
apologizing. He's like, we should have did this, but
if he apologized, you know what the beauty is about these centralized pre-mine guys? The beautiful thing is the second they apologize, it's lawsuits. So they can't apologize. They can't admit guilt. They can't admit that they were wrong. They just have to kind of slowly bring into the public consciousness in a subliminal way. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was like, well, what the fuck else am I going to do? If you go and dance on stage like a complete maniac, then maybe people will stop buying my token. But it didn't work, did it?
Well, it's also a defeatist mentality because they prop Vitalik up so much to be like the smartest guy in the world. A lot of people think he's probably the smartest person in the world. And then if he can't solve it, they're going to think it's unsolvable and they're going to rely on centralized things.
Yeah.
But that's as far as the tech goes, guys. It can't get any further. Our God and Savior said it couldn't, so we have to believe him. So we have to use centralized layer 2s.
I mean, you have to realize there's people behind the scenes scheming away, right? The big boys, the real power brokers. They're scheming away and they're looking at Vitalik and going, that's a good one let's make sure he stays in that position. Yeah. That's a good one to be there. If he's going to dance around like a flappy bird, that's great. It keeps the attention off us, keeps the attention off the VCs, And if he's the fall guy, he's the fall guy. I didn't know. Vitalik we were all following Vitalik.
It feels like
I feel like Vitalik he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders.
It feels like he's like Justin Bieber and he's been like abused by his handler. And like he can only speak covertly, but he can't cross a line or he's gonna get beaten or whatever. Because I think he's controlled. Like I think just like the Hollywood people, how weird it is, they're controlled and they act weird ways. It's like go fucking dance on stage, We're gonna beat you, or whatever they're gonna do to him. But you hear the cries for help. He's saying little things without crossing the boat, but watch out for Vitalik.
That's red flag number 99 for a decentralized system. If the main personality of the ecosystem is saying little things but not quite saying what he should say, those are cries for help. Those are cries for help.
Well, the thing is, back in the day, people didn't know actors and things were controlled and how weird it was with I forget that guy. They didn't know until years later. It's the same thing now. We're going to look back and we're going to realize all these chains were controlled. It was all Hollywood. It was all smoke and mirrors. There was a handler abusing these fucking people and they had to say and do. And that's why they ignored the pre-mine, even though they have to almost feel they feel like it's humiliating themselves because it's so obvious it's coin voting with the pre-mine, and they have to parade and dance around and try to convince smart people that it's decentralized, and if they rock the boat, their coin goes away or whatever the fuck happens to them. I don't know, but if you don't believe it's like Hollywood and these people are psyops or whatever they are, taking over controlled opposition, there's no way this liquidity is natural. These things are positioned and they're sucking up things with number go up, and they have actors. These guys are fucking actors, man. That's why people like them. That's why they have so much charisma. I mean, that's what they are. You don't think it at the time, but 20 years from now, people are going to look back at this shit and they're going to be like, oh, it was ridiculous, so obvious.
The other red flag there was that period of time a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when Vitalik started talking about how Ethereum's not coin voting. We can't go to coin voting. We're not doing coin voting. Remember that? Over and over and over again for months. He was obsessed with the idea that coin voting wasn't the answer.
Yeah.
And me and Dan just looked at him and we were like, bro, you're on a coin voting chain. You can't get away from that. Yeah. It's a coin voting chain. What are you doing? It was so weird that he was so anti-coin voting. Yeah. But then when you start to think about it logically, it's like the dude's got a massive pre-mine. Lubin's got a massive pre-mine. Like, that's, at the time that was like legal.
They can't be pro-coin voting or they'll be fucked.
Right, because the second the people find out it's actually a coin voting chain and they realize how much of the supply these guys have got, they realize it's set up against you.
Yeah. You try to solve a one person, one vote, which is obviously fail.
That's another one. Oh, yeah.
That's his way to get away his scapegoat to try to be like, coin voting doesn't matter. It's one person, one vote, and that's failed. That's an auto fail.
One person, one vote. Let's not forget, you're going to have, as far as I can tell, it's got to be KYC for one person, one vote.
It's going to be fucking tyranny.
Man.
Exactly where he wants you to go. And everyone's going to listen to him because he's so goddamn smart, right? He's so smart.
He's not smart.
Shitty
I mean, he can do quadratic equations in his head, but it doesn't mean he's a
good
leader.
Tyranny machines. That's what he's smart with. He's not smart for building freedom tools, or at least he doesn't give a damn to.
Or maybe he's just caught between a rock and a hard place somehow.
Nobody knew how to create Hive. That's the thing. Nobody knew how to create this shit. That's why it's like magic movie shit, because nobody thought of the 3 pillars. They didn't say, this is how you do it. This is the 3 pillars. These are the layers you have to have. Everything needs to be incentivized. Nobody thought about that shit. You can look at the history. Dan Larimer went on to make a layer 1 smart contract. He didn't know he was bullocks. He just fucking threw shit against the wall and it magically hit in the right direction. So
for Hive.
So yeah, I don't know. So it's always goosebumps when you think of the technology stack and how it actually works. And that's the only one that works in practice. And it's anti-establishment, anti-centralized funding and centralized banks. Because what is Infura? What are all these people? They're centralized providers that have business models. And if it was no fees and you could self-custody easily, they are useless. There's no need for them. They just are eliminated overnight. All this heavy shit, all this infrastructure they have, all these things they bought are gone.
Yeah, let's not underestimate the extent to which Infura run the infrastructure.
Yeah, they can flip it off Ethereum like they do with Solana. They wanted to.
So this is another one where, like with Coskinson, the question we should be asking, and they'll never do it. They'll never do it. But the question that we should be asking, in my opinion, is: can you fork these guys out? Can you fork these guys out of your chain and still run a successful chain?
They'd have to show me.
I don't think they could. I don't think they could replace Infura.
I don't think.
What's Infura? It's a US regulated, registered company.
So we'll give an example.
Here we are again.
We'll give an example here. When Binance powered up and tried to take over the chain, and we said, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, we would have failed, it would have been over. That's what all of you have done. All these chains have done. They all failed. They all have just rolled over belly up. I bet your favorite chain has a validator that's a centralized exchange, and you probably think that's a good idea. It's a terrible idea. It is horrible. And the moment, it's not only that, Ethereum, they already said we're pro-censorship. 85%. And you guys are happy with the 15%? And you think that 15% is magically going to just
save the day?
It's pathetic at best. At best, it's pathetic. So,
yeah.
If you're not going to, like, you would have forked. That's why I was like, you have to show me.
You would have.
You would. Yeah. You would have forked already.
If your leaders weren't flapping around on a stage, you would have forked already.
You would have forked when the fire is on your ass. It's going to be sloppy and half-assed, and we're going to be sitting here. We're not going to say we told you so. We'll give you a helping hand, but that's when you're going to do it. It's going to be 100 times harder, and it's going to be way, way more scrutiny and a lot more risk. And you didn't have to do it. You can do it quietly right now, but you're not, because you don't feel the urgency. But you will feel the urgency, because you will fork, and it's going to be sloppy because you did it last minute. And you waited until the fucking regulatory really got their hands into this thing.
Right, that's what this is. This is like it's like a cognitive dissonance. It'll be all right. It's like the Mexican way, mañana, right? But this is way more important than doing shit mañana. It's like, you need to do this today. Yeah. You need to start working on a solid way to fork these people out of your chain and run the infrastructure on your own. If you can't do that, when shit hits the fan, when people on your chain start doing shit that they shouldn't be doing because the authorities don't like it, the Infura operators, the OFAC compliant nodes are going to come into place and they're going to strangle your asses, and there's nothing you can do about it. Why is that not like, it's basic? It's blatantly obvious, Yeah. Everyone's like, number go up, no go up. We'll deal with it tomorrow, mañana. We should call it the mañana chain, man.
One thing that people need to take into account: if you have one distribution model and you had ICO, centralized funding, that means all of your money's coming from a jurisdiction that is regulated. That means the only people, the miners, the infrastructure, all in regulated jurisdictions. Guess who's buying the coins off of Coinbase? You're in, all of your people, your entire network effect is in a regulated jurisdiction, because it's a VC chain, because it's a number go up chain, because it has zero use case and value. It has no way to distribute. Nobody can earn it. They all have to buy it. Oh, well, if you have to buy it, they're by 99% of the world. You have to buy the coin to get in. By most every single person on earth. So you think when shit hits the fan, all of these people in these regulated jurisdictions, they're going to say, if you do it, you go to fucking prison. We're going to fine your ass. If we find you validating blocks in this country and you don't KYC, you will go to prison. You're going to move? No. you're just going to fucking comply because you don't have anywhere else to go. Whereas with Hive or any kind of model where you can earn, we're everywhere. We're fucking everywhere. You can't shut us down. Who gives a fuck if the U.S. You can't mine blocks in the U.S. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. Try to do that in all of the countries where we're in, and it's eventually going to be every country on Earth. Every country on Earth is going to have Hive and HBD because HBD just keeps going. It just keeps spreading. It keeps spreading. Feeless, fast, instant, use case. Dollar, no KYC.
No KYC.
No, earn it. You can earn it. You can earn it from the desert. You can't stop that. It's amazing. And eventually, when it's in every country in the world, and they try to say, oh, we're going to block it in the U.S., well, fucking laugh. But they say we're blocking Cardano in the U.S., you're not fucking laughing.
Your
infrastructure goes, if Ethereum, it becomes illegal in these quote-unquote first world countries to run validators, you're not fucking laughing.
Yeah, you don't come back
You don't come back from that. You're going to fucking fork out your money? Your centralized stable coin that's the backbone of your DeFi? You're not going to. You've already. That's the thing. It's like you've already submitted. You've already waved the white flag. There's nothing to wait for. You're already done. You're not even in the same thing we're talking about. You're living in the matrix. You know you are, but you enjoy the goddamn steak and lady in the red dress too much. It's that simple, and you know it.
So having said that, I think it's apt for the audience to be forced just to watch this one more time. Because what Dan just said is fucking real. And it applies to these people.
This fucking guy.
Like when I saw Ivan's pants.
They even made Ivan humiliate himself with girl pants.
Oh, sorry, Ivan.
Zero masculinity in that building. And what is this? He's like bowing.
These people are literally working together to naively bring in a banker chain for the banks to profit.
Yeah, that's exactly
and effectively roll out CBDCs.
That's exactly what they're fucking doing.
I mean, what the fuck? Like, when they look back in 30 years' time, if this succeeds, what are they going to tell their kids? You know, oh, sorry, you can't. You can use Ethereum for your DeFi to get some financial freedom, but you can't say these things because they might shut your account off.
The problem with all of this is they're going to. Right now, we still have cash. Because credit cards and all that, it's still clunky, right? Cash is still good in a lot of places and people still prefer it. But once you add blockchain, instant, fast, everyone on their phone, no fees, all these things, they're going to be able to slowly say, no more cash, no more cash. And eventually, they're going to outlaw it. And they're going to stop using it, and everyone's going to be on these fucking systems. And when you're on these systems, they have complete control, more control than you could ever even imagine. They see everything you do. They can control it. They can reverse it. They can censor you. They can make it to where you don't ever exist. That's the world you're giving. You're giving that much power away. Now, if you trust these people, it's fine. You know, I trust Matt, but I would never give anyone that much power over my fucking life. Neither should you, and you don't even know these people. And a lot of them are proven to be corrupt. So what are you thinking? Why in the hell would you allow these people control over your life? That's exactly what you're giving.
All right, let's leave it at that. I'm sure we'll revisit Ethereum at some point in the very near future.
Fuck you, Ethereum.
Good luck, Ethereum.